Alright, hey guys, welcome back. We're here, we're ready, we're going. Um, Sorry it's been 2 weeks. One of those was spent on away, and the other was spent moving. So, yes, very strange times for me, but I'm finally stable and finally at my own place and can finally do whatever the hell I want to do. That being said, though, we're going to continue these campaigns, these sessions, every week, of course, as they should be. There's nothing in the way anymore, so it should be easy enough. What was I gonna say? I do have a different mic setup, so I might want to reduce that just a little bit there. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. But yeah, why don't we just start with the recap? Who wants to do it this week for your extra hero point?
As usual, I'm up for it unless somebody needs it. Cool, I'm in. Also, yeah, you sound great today. Just now that you mention it, you really do. Okay, I just closed my sheet. There it is. Okay. All right, so we had just returned back home to our village after rescuing the villagers who'd been abducted by the faceless monsters. And we finally had a chance to go back to our daily lives, as well as helping out around the town where we could find places to do so, such as repairing the stables and finding the missing livestock, and getting those missing boats back from the Kappas that they were borrowing. And Downtime even officially inherited the Cerulean Tea House as the new official owner, though it would take time and work with our help and the town's help to get it back into full repair. And after a couple weeks of working our day-to-day lives, we heard of a blight on the tea crops that were owned by Mountain Summit Grass, the Lechy, who would be the tea house's primary supplier. So we spent some days laboring in the field, remove the blight, take care of the crops. Hopefully it should be good and ready to go by the time we're ready to go. Well, then we heard a group in the north side of town making a ruckus about wanting to gather peachwood to ward off evil spirits. Well, that was in a grove considered to be sacred to the spirits, which is pretty much taboo. Ultimately, we decided that we're not going to jeopardize the safety of the village by angering the spirits, especially once we learned that the grove itself may have been protecting the village all this time. And so that's more or less where we're leaving off. We've just been kind of doing tasks that we didn't really find the time to do before. Did I miss anything?
Not really. It was a pretty slow session last time after all the chaos before that. So I think the best way to start things off is with the realization that it is the last month of summer for you guys here. And of course, in Willowshore, the seasons have always been very important to keep track of. You know, it's a temperate region, so there are hot summers, which you've already mostly gotten through, though it's sort of August, so it's still a little bit hot. But fall is readily approaching, and, well, while summer is a time of relaxation and rest, mostly because you're just leaving the food to grow and the cows to graze, fall is a time of preparation. And yet, at this moment, the town isn't even prepared is not even prepared to start preparing for winter. There are still many, homes that are in ruins. There are still problems to be solved around town. And while you guys have been doing a lot of those things, a lot of the rest of this is minor stuff that just needs time. Plants to be sort of planted and all of those sorts of things. And for the purpose of it, to push things along towards fall, this month of Eridus is quiet for you guys. And unfortunately, I know you guys want to look into research, but when those little Jenkins came along to town, they tore up almost every book that they could find in town. And so recompiling those is the last thing that's on people's list, and, well, you guys feel like it's more important to help the town survive the winter in the first place before you get started with research.
Absolutely.
So, for the purpose of it, basically means we're going to skip a month. You guys can roll earn income for 1 month. Go ahead and do that for 31 days, we'll say. Whatever you can think of to... Sorry, I hit my mic. Whatever you can think of to, well, help around town or something like that. Yeah,
some weaving.
I'm gonna do some hero point on that.
Yeah. Just do the macro again, don't try to right click. Yeah.
We're rich.
Much better, actually. We can ignore the armor check penalty. Why do you have an armor check penalty?
I shouldn't.
Yeah. You're like the least person I would expect to have an armor check penalty.
I assume it automatically gives you the money when you earn income?
You have to add
you have to add it yourself.
Okay.
How are you all doing this?
There's a macro in the compendium tab.
Yeah, I have the macro.
Mm-hmm.
But I need a token to do it?
Oh, yeah.
If you don't have anything selected, it also works.
But I can pull them out for you guys just in case, because it is, There we go.
I might have also been clicking treat wounds instead of earn income. I'm not sure about that.
Oh, maybe that would be the Well, you can be treating wounds as you're earning income, though. So, if you want to.
Yeah, but hold on, let me double check that. I mean, is there still a lot of medicine stuff to do around town?
There's certainly a lot of people that had broken bones and other things that were set, and a lot of people need continual care, continual physical therapy from traumas they experienced. Even after 2 months, yeah, there's plenty to do.
I think I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
So mine would be a crit success then, since that armor penalty shouldn't be there.
Yeah. So you can take off the other critical success of other people.
I'm actually master on mine, so I think I get more.
Master?
Or not master. No, never mind.
Expert.
I don't know why I was thinking master. Yeah, expert.
Yeah.
Oops. I did the wrong
shut up,
days.
barbarian.
Math time.
You're not a master at any skill yet.
Oh, expert and master give the same amount of money, anyways.
So 8 times 14. Okay, next are 112 on top of the 136. 248.
Excellent. So, with that all being said, the month of Eridus passes quietly but productively. People are finally, healing enough, broken bones are being set, people can start to really at least feel prepared for the fall months of harvest and preparation for the harsh winter months that are common in Shenmen. So let me go to the calendar and move us up a month. Boom. And as you reach Rova, 4608 after Eridan, I think that is what that is. AR. Anyway. The first day, Monday, passes easily, but you've been observing over the month that you've just passed that tensions are rising, especially as people are realizing that, well, the fall months are approaching, the winter months are approaching. Nobody feels very hopeful. Everything from the outside has been cut off, and you've often needed the outside's aid. The only person who can come in and out, seemingly, is still Asahina Shinzo, with his cart laden with merchandise that people do make use of, but it's nowhere compared to carts full of grain coming and going or anything like that. This winter will be the hardest winter this town has ever seen. People are whispering to each other, not sure how they're going to survive, conspiring to hide their own stashes of grain and, well, water even. Fresh water. Well, they don't really need fresh water. There's a river right here. But That being said, as tensions are rising, one day, sort of in the afternoon hours as people are getting off of work, there is a major ruckus in the town center. You see people rushing towards it across the Dawnstep Bridge, and, well, each of you maybe are in different spots, but you're all alerted to it. People are shouting, they're really going at it now! So?
Shugo probably spends most of his time around this area just because of the mayor's manor being here. So he's very quick to arrive if there's a commotion going on.
Alright. So, finding the map.
Belzen will follow, very curious, and well, as with most ruckuses recently, he's been part of the cleanup.
That being said, assuming everyone else is also following, the ship
Absolutely.
is over here. Downtown Withershore, where it seems like there's a lot of hollering, a lot of yelling, a lot of problems going on, whatever they are. You guys sort of collect yourselves near the governor's manor and start heading up the road past the barracks towards the town center, where you see many townsfolk, many of them notable to you, others just, ordinary townsfolk as well, gathered in what looks like maybe at least a third or even a half of the town's denizens. The diminished, population of about 250 allows most everyone to fit into the town square. You can't really tell what's going on over the crowds, but people are shouting and hollering at each other. There are guards trying to pull people out. Something's going on.
I'm gonna try to get in there.
Okay.
I'll be right by him.
Shugo kind of pushes his way through the crowd as well with Yuga.
Just gonna go behind the stone dragon.
Blair did as well.
He can clear the way pretty well.
That's why.
Okay.
Just spot my father. Make a beeline that way.
Alright. 1 second. I played that track too much. Let me see. What would actually work for you? Something imposing. Yeah, we'll just go with this for now. No, that sounds like you're inside somewhere. Let's see. Look at this. Yeah, we'll just go with that. So, as you guys are approaching, pushing past some familiar faces, unfamiliar, you see your father, Kawakamina, sort of in the crowd a little bit more here, and he's sort of keeping his distance, but he's also at the front, and you're able to push to the front here. You also find Hayarha, the guardswoman that you first discovered when you were liberating the town, in fact. He seems to be standing across this little bit of an open space in the center of the crowd, across from the guard captain. And you also see, of course, the two sort of elders of the North Ridge, Granny Hugh and South Bank Shu Matsuki, or Old Matsuki, rather. And as you shut out the clamoring and shouting of others, you can hear them shouting to each other. You think that you can defend this town on an empty stomach, woman? I think that a full stomach is useless if we're stabbed in it. You don't seem to understand. We are beset by enemies on all sides. If not for those... well, there they are right now. Come to save the day once more. We can't rely on them forever. Well, what if something were to happen to them? She waves her hand across towards you all. There's jeering and there's cheering from others. It's obvious to us that they seem to favor the the traditions of the South Bank more than the interests of us in Northridge.
We literally just got here. What's going on?
He's trying to foment what I would call a coup. The rightful governor is still Beau, but she thinks to take that position in his absence. And you would not do the same, old Matsuki. It's obvious. He's gone. He won't be returning. We need to select a new governor. I think it should be me. I have the connections. I know how to run the more, well, developed parts of our town. You can keep to your farms and your shrines. We'll, well, handle the logistics of defending our town from the forces outside. We'll keep our security of utmost import. And I see I have no choice but to take the mantle myself if you're going to steal it out from under the old governor. In fact, since you make such a fuss about the heroes, why don't we ask them? What matters more? Food or security?
That's an impossible question.
I don't think it's very impossible. I'd rather us not starve. We can handle whatever threats are thrown at us. You've shown us that. We don't need to worry so much about bolstering the guard, drafting our barely adult men into their ranks. And what of this talk of them entering the Wall of Ghosts? Who will defend us while they're gone? Well, Precisely. We can't depend on them forever. And my connections with the Guard, my knowledge of organizing our armories, our people, is of utmost importance. Yes, you can still handle the grain, but I can't risk you, old Matsuki, deciding that our men belong in the fields versus with weapons in their hands when we are surrounded by this wall of fog, cut off from the outside and threats beyond who knows where. I know where our men must serve first. Men and women of all, well, capabilities. We're trapped here. We can't take those chances. Every one of us must act in favor of the defense of our town. Stick to your fields. We'll handle the rest.
You know not of the threats that face this town. You have seen some of it. You have seen the imps, the little beasts. Those were dispatched with steel. But the wall of fog that surrounds us, mere steel cannot handle. Winter's approaching, and this town is not prepared as it should be. If we bolster the guard, that's more mouths to feed, that's more energy without return. You will be setting us up for doom.
We'll be doomed without your protection. Are you not planning a foray beyond our village for who knows how long? Who will protect us then?
I think this is something we're going to have to come to a compromise on. Without food, you will all die anyways.
It's easy for one such as you to say. Figured at least one of you would take the proper side in all of this.
I do not completely agree with you, though. Compromise. You must both work together instead of trying to work yourself separately.
this compromise, I'm not sure that's how things are going to work.
Why not? Name one good reason why we couldn't do that.
Because we've always been ruled by a governor who handled all affairs impartially. Granny Hugh has her interests in the north, and I must admit, I have spent 99 years taking care of the people on the farms and at the shrines of South Bank. You need to make a decision. You need to pick a side. I will not work equally with her. I have tried for the past few months. And as you've seen, it has come to a head. And you hear shouting from the side of Northridge as well. A few people that you don't have, the best of relationships with, or you haven't really talked to all that much. We all know who they're going to decide for anyway. Why don't we decide this in the old ways, if they love their traditions so much? Ah, a champion. Chosen by each of us, then.
This is ridiculous.
What, is this some sort of martial combat or something? A duel for who becomes the mayor? Governor, whatever.
When our people are at an impasse, it must be decided one way or another. At some point. We can't keep bickering. We can't keep doing this. Unless one of you would take the mantle.
Well, goodness, I mean, it seems if neither of you are willing to work together, then maybe neither of you are fit for the title.
Well, And what makes you fit for the title?
Well, no, I wasn't saying that it... I... Well...
What would it be
because I'm
then?
willing to look and hear it both sides out. I work at both in the north and the south. 2 positions. Both the cathedral and in the House of Healing. I listen to people from all walks of life in this town.
Sort of step closer. You would burden yourself while also defending this town as you do?
Shugo's gonna walk up behind Yuga and kind of lean down to talk quietly to him. Yuga, do you know what you're volunteering yourself for?
Well, somebody has to do it.
I, for one, do agree with Yuga in that he probably is the most qualified here, at least in our group. He has a wave of words and is very much willing to listen. And most importantly, he has a cool head, unlike the 2 people in front of us.
I just have a vested interest in those I've been taking care of for so long. But maybe you're right. I'm still not convinced. But roll a diplomacy check, Yuga.
Okay. Oh my god!
But on second thought, perhaps it is wise to place a third party in charge. In fact, it is quite reasonable that the cleric of Phrasma, a neutral party in all intents and purposes, could lead us. Very well. If you wish the burden upon your shoulders, you may have it. I will still work for the best interests of this town in any way I can. And so will I. I think we can all agree that, yes, we need food. We also need security. We also need to be able to defend ourselves. If you are willing to help us in both endeavors, perhaps we can somehow excel at both. It'll be difficult.
I think that would be the best.
Agreed. Now is not the time for division. Everyone needs to give their all.
It takes an event like this for us to put our differences aside. So be it. The ruckus of the crowd begins to die down a little bit. People start heading away, shrugging their shoulders, shaking their heads. Factionalism is still decently high, but you're left with Shumatsuki and Granny Hugh standing before you. Before long, many people going about their business this night. Well, there's much on our plate, but it is, well, late. We'll reconvene. We need a neutral ground, however, to reconvene. I don't wish to host this at Old Matsuki's estate, nor at my trading house.
Then we will hold it at our tea house. Yes.
It's still. What's the condition of it at this point? I've been very busy lately.
It's still in shambles. It can be rebuilt, but it's going to have to take some time for you guys to do it.
Well, it's a bit windy, and might want to not be in there while it's raining, but it's homely.
Okay, maybe not
Isn't-
there then.
Well, no, I think it's actually a good idea. Though I've heard that there's been some lawyer gridlock with dealing with the inheritance. Yes?
I think we already resolved that.
Oh, well, if it's in your name, then spend some time rebuilding it. That should be a good gathering spot for us. A headquarters, if it were. We'll convene there once you've got the preparations made. Shouldn't take you longer than a week, I would hope. While we, organize ourselves, get ready for the preparations this coming fall.
Do you think we can do this in a week?
If all of us work together, I'm sure we could.
While it's seen better days, it's structurally sound, and not much of it was destroyed.
Perhaps I can rally up some of our villagers and see if we can get some help.
There will be few and far between that will be able to help you, but I trust in your own skills. Go ahead and get that done. We'll come back to this once we have a place to meet on equal terms. For now, we'll make our own preparations. She begins to step
Sounds like
away.
a plan.
I think we should discuss this governorship before it gets out of control.
I turn to look at the three of you, just kind of like wide-eyed and shell-shocked.
We need you by our side, Yuga.
I am indeed at your side.
What I was going to say was decisions should be a group decision. Not everything should be on you.
I would be an absolute fool of a leader if I made all of the decisions on my own. I think that's a big part of what was the issue with both of the two of them. However, they would make good advisors.
They would make good advisors, but they are stubborn. I don't think mediating between them will be easy, but it should probably give some very good results.
They may be stubborn, but they are still looking out for the best interests of their people.
Yes. Both are things we need.
I admire both of them very much, and it pains me greatly to see them constantly bickering the way they do.
Well, at least now they'll be bickering over a nice cup of tea.
And a chew, instead of each other.
Yes. Yes. I think you're right. Did I happen to catch any sight of, like, how my father looked about this whole thing?
Your father was certainly on the side of South Bank, though he allowed you to do this. Perhaps you can discuss it at a later time with him.
Yeah.
But seeing as there was a peaceful resolution to the problem of the governorship, that being just putting it on your own shoulders, let me see. Give yourself, or selves, 80 experience points, and also give you some reputation points for each of the factions.
This is probably the worst solution, because now we're in politics.
Again.
Kingmaker 2.0.
Alright, so you guys head home for the night,
Amazing.
I imagine. We just pass a day.
Yep, sounds good.
Oh, Sugar, I've been actually meaning to ask, so since your whole job is to protect the governor, yeah?
The village.
Well, you were standing in front of the governor's manor, so kind of the same thing.
The governor is not the village.
Well, he's probably the most important part of the village.
What are you wanting to get at here? Light on.
Well, if there are any, I don't think there's any odds of that happening, but if any ruffians were to cause trouble in my tea house, don't think I'm quite capable to throw them out by myself. He sort of makes puppy dog eyes at Shugo.
I have seen what you are capable of in combat. I think you do just fine.
But you are much better at just nicely asking them to leave, aren't you?
I suppose you could say that, but I don't think any villagers have been an issue in the town in that way.
That's a fair point, but there's always a chance that more of these spooks could show up again.
Are you asking me to protect your tea house?
Yes.
It beats protecting an empty plot of land.
Splendid. I'm sure you won't regret it. I'm I'm sure you standing outside is gonna be a nice attraction for everyone.
Just make sure he has somewhere nice to stand.
Wait, why am I standing outside?
Well, you're a statue, aren't you?
Not anymore.
Well, I feel like the right now is a bit hard to place where you land in the terms of statue and dragon. At a fair point.
How many statues have you seen moving around on their own?
2, technically.
You make a good point.
Shugo is Shugo.
But if you're worried about any rain, I'll give you an umbrella. Is that fine?
You think I'm just going to sleep outside this whole time?
Well, you can come inside for sleep. Don't worry.
Let's just work on fixing this place up first.
Fair.
In fact, the next morning you all find yourselves at the front of the Cerulean Tea House. You haven't come by here too often, maybe lay out on a little bit to maybe make plans, but you haven't had the wherewithal or the time, or maybe even the funds to start preparing the place. There's torn paper walls here and there. The, lounge room still has bloodstains everywhere. At least the corpses were removed from that terrible scene. And many tables need to be replaced. The Woodcarvers Guild needs to be commissioned. You can probably get good prices from the paper mill for paper walls. And, it needs to be stocked up as well. But you already have the tea for it. Maybe you need some other things to start crafting and making some of the tea. But first things first. It's in a major state of disrepair. In fact, I'm going to move us over there. Just give us some scene for it. Excuse all the frying people.
Did we remember to run them out? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Why does this place stink?
For the purposes of it, there are things that are salvageable, recoverable, but it's going to take maybe a couple of days. But as you guys are going over it, there's a lot that's intact too. Just for the purpose of it. You can spend one day, each of you, to try to clean, repair, and restore the Cerulean Tea House. This would involve a crafting or athletics check or lore checks that none of you have, to be architecture or labor. So as long as you're a good crafter or a good athlete, you can help out with
Hey, Prestidigitation has something called Tidy.
You can help out with it too. You can give an aid action via one of your magic skills, like occultism, since you're using a spell for it, we'll say.
Awesome. I can do occultism.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm probably gonna fix stuff with crafting.
Shugo is going to help clear things out and probably try to scrub floors and whatnot to get the blood out of them.
Okay.
Crafting sounds good to me.
Actually, I have a theme for your place here.
Imagine rolling occultism to cling and then getting a 3.
As you guys are going through, doing what you can to help out, Shugo, while your labors are appreciated, they're not helping you make too much progress. There's so many places you're missing, you're sort of sweeping your tail around, and that's just dirtying things up a little bit more. Not exactly the most helpful. Yuga, in actually no, you're doing crafting. That's not a critical fail. You try to figure out what can be repaired, start making plans, but it's just not really coming together for you. Leodon, though, you've had this dream in your mind for a while, and very easily you start to work on getting things tidied up, checking what needs to be repaired, putting in orders, all of that. And by the end of the day, you guys have made a little bit of progress, but you're just getting a feel for things. So we're going to say a day passes here. And at that point, Leodon, you also realize that you can probably hire some labor or buy some materials that would definitely help you out. You wouldn't have to go scrounging for extras sort of from fallen buildings or anything like that. You could just buy it directly and it would be a lot easier. 10 GP to increase your degree of success by 1 if you so wish for any of these activities. Or skill checks, rather.
Come on, people, put your back into it. Where's all that enthusiasm from earlier gone?
I have plenty of the enthusiasm. I just haven't done this sort of thing in a while.
Ah, yes, the future governor has his mind already distracted with all manner of things, doesn't he?
You wouldn't be wrong.
Listen, I felt some of these floorboards crack almost. I had to take it easy.
Yeah, things are rough.
What if I were to come in with some mending spells tomorrow?
That would probably be quite helpful. There's quite a lot to mend, isn't there? I'll probably have to shell out some money to help speed this along, though.
Okay. You guys arrive back on the new day. And are you going to spend some money to help you out here?
Yep.
Okay. Just mark in chat minus 10 GP and minus from your character inventory. Yuga, I heard you were going to do mending spells?
Yeah, so I could do potentially 3 level 1s and 3 level 2s.
Okay. Well, with that in mind, I'm going to give you the increase in degree of success, actually, because, I mean, that would help a ton for a lot of these tables and chairs. You could just mend them back together instead of having to get new ones.
Especially if this is where I'm basically planning to spend my day.
Alrighty. Everyone else can continue to help as they may.
Yep, more prestidigitation to help.
Alright.
There we go, that's better.
Mm-hmm.
Tidying things up, lifting junk out of here, making a broom of 1 bulk.
As in...
Is Bosun's thing an 8 check, or are you actually doing something with your magic?
It's an aid. It's a prestidigitation, chirp. But, before we get to that, as you're sort of at the back of the building, sort of cleaning off some of the stonework, you hear a rustling from around the corner.
He turns his head and he listens closer, staying silent.
Roll perception check.
Blind?
Yeah, or no, public. We always do public now.
Right. Oh, I went over that 20.
You noticed it, but you can't get any more information from your senses. Something's there, around the corner. Rustling.
Just gonna peek around.
As you peek around, a head pops out of the corner of the building there. And these striking yellow eyes, seemingly pupilless and glowing, on the head of a cat, sort of stares at you at a distance.
Oh, it's a little cat. A strange one. I just stare at it for another moment.
stares right back at you.
I take a single step forwards.
Roll a nature check as you are trying to approach it.
Ooh, I'm good at that. Haha.
Okay. As you're attempting to approach this cat, it's slowly slinking its way out from behind its cover there. You realize it is much larger than you'd expect for a cat. It is about a large cat plus half. You know, it's not double the size of a cat, but it's sort of 1.5. Very big. Like almost dog size.
Like a bobcat.
Yes, or yes, something like that, exactly. But it still has, the cadence and the attitude, even, of a regular house cat. It sort of slinks and sort of zigzags over closer towards you.
Psst.
A long flowing tail on this sort of gray and a little bit of brown on its back cat. You also do get a closer look at those eyes. They're like no cat's eyes you've ever seen before. It's almost as if there is a hint of clarity behind them as it regards you now, sitting down in front of you.
Who might you be? I wonder.
You haven't spent too much time in town, but a cat like this must have a story. Willow Shore lore would help you.
It would. I have art lore.
Maybe somebody else might be able to help.
Maybe. I'm gonna take one step closer.
Sort of arches his back a little bit as it slinks backwards. Just a little
I have
bit.
paper craft lore.
I'm gonna put it into the corner of my eye and take a few steps away.
It takes the opportunity to slink around the corner, rushing off.
I assume my character would know if anybody knew of Willow Shore lore.
Oh yeah, you know, members of your party have been in Willow Shore a lot longer than you have.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna tell them about this odd, friendly cat. Not very friendly, but fairly friendly.
Or actually, I thought one of you had Willow Shore lore, but you don't. So,
Okay, so nobody knows.
but you can roll a society check too.
Okay, I'm gonna roll that.
Yeah.
Since I'm proficient.
Then you have a little bit of time to think about it. You do recall that that particular cat, must be Yami. A cat that was once the mascot of the Cerulean Tea House. People hadn't seen it since the attack for a while here, but it seems after those many months it has finally deigned to return to its old home.
Oh, so
Is
he's
there
one
any
of
other
us.
information I learned, like what it's done here, or
Well,
in what circumstances people see it?
you know that the tea house's previous owner, Ching Mai Lai, found it as a kitten, apparently curled up in the cooling embers of a campfire while she was walking through the village. She thought it was a black cat, so she named it Yami, but upon giving it a proper cleaning, it turned out to have that sort of light cream and brown leopard pattern on its body. And it was the late owner's most loyal companion, watching over the tea house from the shadows while occasionally deigning to enter and warm the laps of its guests.
Well, Is that Yami with an I at the end, or
Yeah.
at the end?
Oops, I had caps lock. Yes, yummy. I.
Well, given the time we'll spend here, I'm sure I'll see Yami again.
Okay. As it occurs, you might walk back inside and check on everyone else's progress here, as I look at it as well. Shugo, once again, you're not helping all that well, but Leodon, that is a critical success, even without having bought the materials, so we'll say that you still have the materials for other activities in the future. We're not going to say you somehow wasted materials on doing it too good, you know? So...
Alrighty.
Did we get Yuga's crafting check?
Oop.
Yours will also be at increased degree of success because you took the mending spells, which will turn a failure into a success. So,
yay!
from the first day's mild success, Leodon, you capitalize on it. In fact, actually, I should reveal one of the other clocks we have for progress. Things are actually going pretty well. First day you earned 1, second day you're earning 3 because of Leodon and Yuga's efforts to repair things, clear it out. Now all that remains is to furnish it. Because another day is at an end. Baozin, oh, sorry, I have you locked out.
You locked me outside. I'm like a fucking cat. Let me in.
Baozin returns to you all.
And I share of the spirit that guards this place, and that it hasn't left.
Spirit? I would know if there was a spirit guarding this place.
You would, and you never heard of one at the Cerulean Tea House, Shugo. But you did know of that cat. Maybe once or twice when you were looking over the festivities inside the tea house, you noted its presence. But it didn't seem to have any spiritualness to it.
It might just be a cat buzzing.
Sure. You could.
Sometimes cats are cats.
Although it would probably be good for the town's morale to have the cat back.
I believe the cat is back, whether or not we like that. I say we embrace it.
You'll have to get some food for the cat next time, then.
It did still seem a little standoffish to you, Baozin.
Maybe a bit grumpy because of the state of things.
Bring many treats for the cat, and you will befriend it, probably.
Probably. I should have used my spell to make like a little feather on a string or something.
I know just the treat. I will make sure to bring something next time.
This place is looking much better, I will say.
Yeah, it's coming together quite nicely. At this rate, we'll be done possibly tomorrow.
I can continue to bring mending spells tomorrow, if we think that'll help.
Well, we mostly just have to finish it at this point, but there's probably some things here and there that can be fixed to be turned into furnishing again.
I would probably just get in the way if I was trying to help there. I don't have furniture.
Well, you can still haul furniture, can't you?
I suppose.
Alright, so the day comes to an end, and you guys return here once more. As this is the primary objective on your minds, go ahead and try one more round of checks. Make sure you finish things off.
What's the chances of rolling a 16 again?
That's cool.
Well, you can roll your 1 instead. Hugo actually starts
Don't worry, I'm
breaking
making up for it.
things and screwing it up. But because Leodon bought some extra furnishings and was able to use them today, he makes up for it. So it will be reduced by 1, but plus 1. And then Yuga also is mending things and putting things together. There wasn't much to mend on the end of the day, but, you know, you put some extra details into the place. You made it look homely and, well, a place for people to relax their minds amidst all of this turmoil and hopelessness. So the tea house is restored at this point.
We did it.
Shugo probably like broke a table on accident by turning around.
Oh. And now for the grand opening. How do you all want your tea?
Medium rare.
No.
Oh,
There's a rustling at the door as the fronds of mountain summit grass sort of brush against its exterior, and they appear. I was watching your endeavors. I hope you don't mind. I wanted to be the first to see the restored, well, establishment.
By all means, you're welcome here.
It's all cleaned up. Ready and able to take customers. And, you, have equipment to, create the tea, I would hope?
Of course, of course. This wouldn't be a tea house if we couldn't make any tea, would it?
Oh, but...
Yeah, just a house.
Perhaps what you have is rudimentary, if I must say. We could, in fact, I could sell you my sterling set. It would help you a lot. Keeps things hot longer. For a measly price of 50 gold pieces.
Oh well, I can't rightly call myself the best tea house in town if I don't have such an exquisite tea set. I'll take your offer.
No, I guess it is that easy. She sells you a set of sterling artisan's tools. So,
Beautiful.
for some reason I can't put it in chat here. Either way, I'll just put it in your inventory. As long as you delete 50 gold pieces worth.
Of course, I should have enough if my math isn't off. I did have enough.
Well, that was easy.
Liado produces a large bag of 500 silver pieces, which he had collected over the past few jobs.
Ah, well, I'll have to take these to the trade house to get converted. I think I can carry it there. Thank you. And, of course, my supply of teas are already enabled for you. I think you have everything you need, actually.
Well, certainly now with this wonderful tea set.
I did hear that you want to make this also a meeting place for the elders, so that they can stop bickering and maybe discuss things over tea and not be at each other's throats.
That's correct. It seemed like a necessary step.
Why don't I, especially since I'm going to the trade house, that's where Granny Hugh usually is, why don't I go and gather them for you?
Well,
I
that would
suppose this is as fine a time as any.
Indeed, for the opening of the tea house, there would certainly be no better guests than them.
Very well, I'll spread the word. She heads out, or they head out.
Are you sure we're ready? Do you have some tea ready to go?
Well, yeah, no, but I'm sure I can quickly whip something up that's perfect for this occasion.
using your tea lore, roll me a check for it.
Of course.
Very good roll. As you're making preparation. Eventually, Granny Hugh, Old Natsuki, and other curious patrons begin arriving. Well, you've outdone yourselves in a matter of 3 days. If you've put this together, seems like you are eager, ready to get this off the ground.
You could say that.
I had a fire in my stomach that only a nice cup of tea could quench.
It's beautiful, yes, but I think the essence of a tea house is in its tea. Let's have a seat here so we can discuss things. As much we... Yes, you go around, you gather the implements, you set it all down in proper manner. In ritualistic manner, even. People in Shenmen take their tea very seriously. So, by the way, this tea is excellent. We really need to get back to basics and talk about how we're going to survive the winter in more ways than one. It's not just food and security I'm worried about, or we're worried about. Yes, it's the people's faith, hope, in fact, has dwindled greatly. Your efforts to, well, be the heroes of this place has helped them a little bit, but, well, we can't allow our people to fall into despair, now can we?
Nor can we allow them to fall into hero worship.
Well, they won't be worshipping you as heroes. There's too much that you guys do in favor of one North Ridge or South Bank that they have reason to dislike you one way or another.
I figured something like that would happen.
But yes, we are going to need these 3 things for preparing for winter. To bolster the people's hope, to improve our security, and to make ready for the winter in terms of food.
A tall order, but one that I'm sure that we can handle together.
For the purpose of it, you guys might see these little trackers in the corner being appeared when I make mention of these things.
Yep. White means good, right?
White means unfilled. Red is what you have right now.
Yeah.
Well, we're not hard pressed for any of these things right now. Wintertime is when it will be tested. So you don't have to rush at the gates and be worried you won't be able to do this immediately, or worried that things are low right now. We can make the improvements along the way. But for the purposes of things, food you can acquire through either aiding the harvest or aiding in the hunt. And in fact, where is she? Nadoya Sonmi should be arriving any moment now. There you are. You've met Nadoya already. In fact, she is the mother of the eloped teenagers that you eventually got to come back home, if you remember.
I remember very well.
Yes, and I remember you bring my daughter back to me, and bring her boyfriend back as well, even though I'm a little less pleased that he came along. I'll be heading the efforts to, as I've done every year, to stockpile our food reserves, so come to me if you ever need any advice or well, need direction. You can either, of course, aid in our harvests or aid in a hunt. I do believe there is still much game to be found, even in these strange circumstances. Don't worry too much about hunting too much. It's not like anything can come in or out, and it's not like we are worried about that right now. Just hunt as much as you need, and aid in the harvest as much as you can.
I don't suppose any of us have any word about whether or not animals are getting in and out.
Yes, it doesn't seem that there are, but still, there's plenty of them in the woodlands surrounding. The walls are far enough away that there should be some to hunt, or fish, you know, there's much in there as well. If those are appropriate for your skills, shall we say. Well, I think I will leave it to, Granny Hugh. Yes, my worry, as you've already known, and Xingpeng's worry as well, as he approaches from one of the other tables as he was away for a moment, is the security of the town. Yes. I think you all have done a lot so far. You've done much for us. But you can help even more by aiding some of the townsfolk, harvesting firewood, keeping people's spirits up if you're a performer or anything like that. Or just generally working around town, using your labors for them. But I think one of the more important things as well would be to reinforce the buildings. To guard them against attack, or against winter and colds that it brings. So if you're good with crafting, or again, an athlete, you can help with that. Again, no rush. If you think that something else is more important, go for that. We just need to be decently well prepared for the coming winter. But there is one other thing. The matter of, the matter of that wall of ghosts, the west. The one that you reported there being something behind. And don't forget the location of the Tansugi Monastery. I have a hunch that has something to do with this curse that we are under. You all have plans to breach the wall, I hope. Figure out a way to get through it.
That is
Some point.
That is our end goal, but we need to prepare ourselves more and do research, I believe.
Yes, research. I do believe I've heard from a couple of people that ought to know more here about the wall, or have resources they can provide to you. First, your Sojin of the Graveside Manors, the older graveyard, not the, Erasmite graveyard. She's been here even longer than old Matsuki, in fact. Even though he doesn't like to say that. Old Matsuki is the oldest human here, but that elf has him beat by quite a few years. But they keep to themselves, so you're going to have to get on their better side if you want information from them. She then turns her eyes towards you, Leodon. Your father, I knew him well. He had a great library, full of old tomes, didn't he?
So he did, though. I think you would have to talk that out with my sister. She's the one who's mostly running my father's old magic store.
Yes, Igaba, that's her name. You'll have to work with her on it to gather what information you can from those great stores of, well, lore. I think now that finally the threats are gone and she's disabled some of the traps, it should be easy enough to start some research there as well, especially for you. Finally, if you all, well, from what I've heard, you've done well with the Great Willow up north on the hill. It might have some insight for you. You might work with it over a period of time as it communes with nature. Perhaps they'll help you in the research. And, well, the Heavenly Court willing, you'll have enough information to break through the wall and maybe end this curse once and for all. But remember, curse or no, are still going to have to survive the winter.
Of course, priorities.
Don't think you have to prepare for winter quickly. If you think you can get into that wall and help or deal with whatever's on the other side and then come back to us quickly, then we can worry about preparations for winter. It's up to you all, what you would prefer to do. What your own priorities are. I do believe you can get it all done by winter's time. Depends on what you want to do first.
Personally, just me speaking here from looking at it, what I've seen, I would like to see the village in a more stable condition before we make such a dangerous excursion.
How about this then? You will render your aid until the first long night festival. That'll be in 3 weeks' time. By that point, I think we'll have a bare-bones sort of idea of where we're at, and maybe you can do something about the curse. After the festival.
Seems like a good way to split the time.
Yeah, I
Good
approve of this.
plan.
I approve of it as well. And I guess we're all in agreements here. Do what you can to aid the town. Deal with anything that comes up. Prepare yourselves for that journey before after the festival of the long night. Or the first long night. Sounds good to everyone?
Sounds great.
Yes. This is our plan.
They each put their teas down, clattering under their plates. Excellent tea, by the way. You've outdone yourself. It's good that the younger generation understands the peace that it brings to a troubled soul.
It's very good for the soul and the body. In moderation.
All things. Now, it is getting late. We'll leave you all to do your planning.
Farewell.
Okay. As the day wanes, you're all left to your new home, or at least base of operations.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. How did I do? I hope I wasn't too much of a complete basket case.
Only the healthy amount.
Oh,
I'd say you did fairly well.
You got the points across you need to get across. We know what we need to do to help out now, so that would be a success in my book.
yes. Yes. And we'll all have our parts to do.
how do we wish to tackle this? Should we all split up and take care of our area of expertise, or do we work together?
Splitting up probably is better, in my opinion.
Yes, it's as you say, our own areas of expertise. Some of us are better at certain things than others. Well,
Do what we're good at.
each of us has
and
those.
If we have extra time, help each other. Simple enough.
All right. For the purposes of things, we're going to take a quick break here and come back in 5 minutes as you guys make your preparations to make preparations.
Already?
We'll be back in 5, everyone. See you in a bit.
Sounds good.
Alright, we're back in. Welcome back, everyone. So, where were we? We were at the beginning of a long journey of preparation for the town. So we're going to say that the day has passed once more. On to Star Day of Rova. And, well, as we zoom out a little bit, what is everyone planning on doing? Excuse me. You have a couple of things, of course, on your minds. The research into the wall, food of the town, security for the people. You also, Leodon, it wasn't explicitly mentioned how that's going to be earned, but you figure that if you spend some time to put together a tea celebration at the Cerulean Tea House, that might help bolster the spirits of the people.
Fair enough. Gotta figure out what to do though, but my own priority would probably be research right now, mostly because we know nothing about the fog wall so far.
Okay.
Understandable.
Let me move in a little bit here. Alright, so for the purposes of research, you have these couple of sources. In fact, you also have those notes that you... Oh, this is the wrong map. Where's the right map for my Veloshore? There it is. You also have those notes from Zodo that you got from that ritual spot that you fought at last. If you can find someone who can read Abyssal or Aklo, you could study those, as it seems to be a mixture of those two languages.
Well, I speak Aklo myself, so that solves that.
Oh, easy enough. The check to research that, however, is going to be either academia or religion.
Boy, am I glad that I have a little bit of investment into religion.
Oh, good.
So, you would be spending... Let's see, how long would you be spending on this? It is going to be a week of downtime. Each of these actions is going to be a week, essentially. It's a long march towards winter. So 9 on that would, in fact, be a critical failure. However, we can say that you would have used your investigators, abilities to mark the Wall of Ghosts as your investigation, so you would naturally have the plus to these checks from that. So we'll say you didn't get a critical failure.
Alright.
That would make the difference. You can also reroll.
Yes, I'll probably reroll actually.
Okay.
I just had to reload because
Okay.
this roll bugged again.
4 on the
Amazing.
dice. Roll of 11. Unfortunately, you spend the week trying to pore over these crazy notes that you have in your hand, but nothing's really coming together. You're not sure exactly what to make of it in the first place. Maybe you shouldn't start with these notes. There are other places that you could research using other skills of yours. But...
I'll for something easier.
For the rest of you, what are you guys doing for this week? Because these are week-long activities.
I think I'm going to help in the fields.
Okay, you can use farming lore for that.
Yep.
I might.
I'm not happy about that. I'm using hero point.
Okay.
I'm happy about that.
A much better roll. Excellent.
Here's an idea. Maybe I could help the guard by weaving together some gambits and armor, like cloth-based armor. Or just trying to think of how I can use weaving to help. Is that too far-fetched? Too specific?
Weaving, I would say you could help the fishers with weaving.
That is a good idea. I will do that to help get food.
Mm-hmm. Weaving together nets, baskets, all of that. In fact, because you're using a lore skill, not just a base skill, and your specialty in weaving, that is a critical success. You put together all the ropes you need to do. You help your friend Zadaku, the female rat folk that runs the bar or the docks there, or rather the fishing supplies, I would say. And you put together a ton of new nets and all of that over the course of the week, coordinating with other people. Yeah. So, as appropriate for somebody so in tune with spiders, you make plenty. We're gonna say that food goes up by 2 because of that.
Awesome.
That gets you somewhere. Let me make sure. Critical success, yeah, 2. Okay. Back to Yuga. Yuga, you do succeed at helping in the fields as well, helping the harvests. In fact, actually, because you guys have that old village expansion to the north, you set that up for this. You get a +1 bonus circumstance to all the harvest checks as well.
Oh.
But it's not a critical success, even then.
That's so cool.
Still, +1 for the food. Gets you up to 4. That leaves Shugo for this week. What are you doing?
Well, sticking with the theme of what everybody else is doing almost, he's also going to go out into the woods here and try to find spots where there might be a lot of wildlife and game for people to hunt.
Okay.
Get information for hunters, basically, to help bring in more food that way.
Mm-hmm. So nature survival would be the better check here for you. 22, that's a easy success. Again, you guys are focusing mostly on getting the food stores a little bit better this week, as you've done amazing work for it. It's already starting to fill with fish and game and, well, harvest as well. As you all reconvene at the end of the week at the Cerulean Tea House, going over everything, is there anything you guys talk about before leaving it to another week?
Well, we're getting a lot better on as far as our food preparation. Still have a long ways to go. But I would definitely like to show up our town security. At least a little bit.
I can try to focus on that this week. I can help move lumber and whatnot to reinforce buildings. Or I can spar with the guard.
Isn't sparring with the guide gonna be a bit more dangerous for the guide than it is for you?
I want to see them succeed. I don't want to hurt them.
Yeah, but is it really trading if there's not a degree of danger involved?
I'll have to decide what works best tomorrow.
Fair enough, fair enough.
You have familiar faces are around in the tea house this night as you're sort of running the evening service. People still are unsure of things. There's whispers of how are we going to survive, and what if something attacks again? We already lost so many people. I still am grieving my sister's death and all of that. But over the clamor, well, in the clamor of the night here, let me see. There they are. A small child sort of wanders in and steps up towards Yuga, a little sniffly and sort of wiping tears from their eyes.
Oh, hello. What brings you here?
Mr. Yuga, you, you're friends with the gods, right?
Yes. At least I hope so.
Well, I need your help.
I can certainly try. What's your name?
Minwan, my,
Minwan.
my parents, they're out at your cathedral. Out back. After the attack and all that.
Are you... Is anybody helping to take care of you?
Oh, yeah, I have new parents now. But that's not what I'm asking. It's been a while. They've been gone a long time. I wanted to take care of this, I found this injured fox in the forest. I went to visit it, and, well, it wasn't in its shelter anymore. When I went home last night, I dreamed about it, of this white fox touching its nose to my head. And I heard from that priestess of Daikitsu that sort of thing means it's a messenger from Daikitsu. But
My thoughts exactly.
I feel a little embarrassed going up to the priestess and asking her about it. I wanted to ask maybe someone else and impress them. I want to give an offering at the shrine. Can you suggest anything for me to offer?
Oh, let me think about that. Daikitsu. Well, let me think. So Daikitsu is all about agriculture, but also craftsmanship, but also family in a sense.
You can roll a religion check.
Yeah, let's do that. Oh yeah,
Okay.
25.
That is a definite success. And you think about it for a moment, and, well, while you're at tea house, you do have snack foods as well. You remember that people have been particularly enjoying this one food called inarizushi, which is basically just
yum.
tofu, or rice wrapped in tofu.
It's so good.
You seem to recall that it is a favorite food of foxes, at least in the worship of Daikitsu. A perfect offering.
Inarizushi would be perfect. Why don't we make some together?
Oh, yes, of course, yeah. And there are plenty of people here to witness this touching moment. And with the assurance that this is a proper offering to Daikitsu, the child steps out into the night. Perhaps offer a proper, small town offering to the goddess of foxes.
That being said, I would be perfectly willing to accompany him.
You'll gladly have you along. You approach the shrine
Perfect.
of Daikitsu. The priestess isn't there this late at night, and you remember it's sort of a small dugout shrine, like a fox's hole, essentially. And, you place it before the intertwined sort of foxes that make up this humanoid form. And with a gift given in earnest, it seems to be noted in earnest as well. Give yourselves 80 experience points as the child nods and seems to be pleased. given some hope back to the village. So 1 hope point as well. That is the end of week 1. As a new day arises.
So sweet!
So, this week, what are you guys doing?
Well, I guess we're changing up a little bit from last week. Shugo's gonna go try to help the security of the town. Or that
Okay.
be maybe working with the guard and training who's there, or like giving him like a sparring partner. Or you can like literally help with security, like building walls or something like that.
Sure thing.
Or hauling heavy stuff to make defenses.
Yeah, you can definitely use your athletics for this.
Alright, well, he's gonna do that.
Aiding the townsfolk, physical labor like harvesting trees or branches, getting firewood, that sort of thing. 21. Definite success from you. You're able to aid people over the course of the, week here and get them more ready.
So I could potentially, if it's gathering that's needed, I could potentially help with that. For security purposes.
What are you thinking for your skill choice?
Survival's good for that, isn't it? For foraging, etc.
Sure, yeah. Mm-hmm. Though,
17.
as you're going about using your survival skills, you're having a little bit of more difficulty this week. You don't really help all that much, suffice to say. Yeah.
Maybe if there were more roads around here, I could have found more.
Leodon, Balzin, what are your plans?
More research.
Okay.
I'd like to see how I can help the guard, or at least increase security. That is the more pressing matter.
What are you
Just focus
planning
on-
on with that?
Oh, I am not sure. Given a lot of the supernatural threats, I thought, hey, maybe I could help train the guard to be more resilient against mental trickery. But
It's, you could maybe do it. It would be a higher DC, because it's a little bit more niche.
that's fair. I just don't know how else I can help him with my skills.
Can always just specialize. If you guys try things that are harder for you and fail, then nobody's getting anywhere with anything. Better to succeed at something.
Yeah. So focus on your strongest point.
Okay, I'm just gonna do the fishnet again.
Okay. You can also help with research, especially applying that occultism and stuff like that, if you so wish. Because that also needs to get done.
Okay, I'll help with research instead, given the state of things.
It's definite success. As you apply your occultism to it, that'll be working with, let's see. That would be doing your own solo investigation, sort of on the nature of curses, poring over your own knowledge, sort of diving into what your patron can provide to you, and other things like that. You do succeed. You learn a little bit, but not enough to give you any insight right now. Leodon might be able to pull something together, though. Leodon, what are you doing?
Once again, poring over the archives, trying to find anything to learn about this fog wall.
Okay, you can pretty much use any of your intelligence-based things, like Arcana or Occultism or anything like that. What do you want to do, like, specifically?
Well, I'll probably use my occultism in that case.
Okay. There is a maximum amount you can do with each skill, but there's still plenty of room for occultism. Roll your occultism. As you also go through your own collection, figure things out through that. I will say you guys do need a extra hero point at this point, because I've forgotten to give them out, so everyone can take one.
Very well
Yay!
done.
I think you'd be surprised to hear that I'm using mine immediately.
Yes, I wonder why I said that right at that moment. Natural 20.
there you
Okay,
go.
we'll turn it right around. Christmas
I like
colors.
that.
So, with that, you are able to finally piece a lot of things together in your own mind about how curses work and stuff like that. And you also pull together some of the history to try to figure out why this is even happening. So I'm going to say, here's what you get. The curse borders to the north, south, and east are subtle and hard to interact with without stepping directly through them. Whereas to the west, the Wall of Ghosts is this visible barrier with a recognizable spiritual element. As such, it's likely the easier barrier to attempt to remove. Further, the ruins of the Tansugi Monastery lie beyond that wall, and if the site can be reached, the lore and libraries within would be invaluable in learning more about the curse itself. You remember that construction on the Tansugi Monastery began back in 7020, the same year Willowshore was founded, but the monastery was abandoned in 7062, and much of its lore was lost or forgotten. That's where your research has led you at the moment. Of course, you can learn a lot more as you continue along, but you're at 3 research points already. Good. Alrighty. That is another week done.
Ouch.
Once again, as you guys reconvene in the latter parts of the month of Rova 4608. 7020 and 7062 are the Tianzian calendar. I think it is like 7084 in the Tianzian calendar, because they didn't really care about Eridan all that much over here. So yeah, you're in Willowshore about like 20 years after the monastery was abandoned. Suffice to say. With that being said, once again, as you guys reconvene at the Cerulean Tea House, a man stumbles on through the door here. Are they here? Oh, there you are. This like youngish looking man. You haven't really seen him around too much before, but maybe once or twice in passing. Can I need to speak to you in private.
You can do that.
Hey, there's a room in the back we can walk into if we need it.
Yeah, yes, please. I don't want to speak of this in public. I have a problem that needs the truest of heroes that this town can offer.
I suppose that would be us.
There's a nest of vipers that have taken up residence in my outhouse. And I narrowly escaped a slow and painful death after I was nearly bitten in my arse. Please, can you get rid of them? I'm too embarrassed to ask the guards. They'll laugh me out of the room, tell me to hire some exterminator or something, but those things are nasty and there's a lot of them. I have 2 gold to my name I can give you, and I can even offer you dinner at my home.
We absolutely agree that it's not funny, and it's a very serious matter. We would be very happy to handle this, because
fact, Hugo will come and handle this personally for you.
Yes. No, wait, what? No, we can all do it together.
Oh, all of you? I mean, I couldn't say no to that. I'll just have to cook more.
Well, no. I suppose I could probably do it, right?
Yuga, I do not think we will all fit in this outhouse.
Be a very tight squeeze, especially with Shugo around.
Those things, I mean, they're not evil creatures, not like anything that attacked us like that. They're just in the wrong spot.
They are indeed.
And, some people believe snakes to be sacred around here. Again, no one would fault you for defending yourself, but, if you can figure out some way to just get them out of there without trying to kill them all, that might make some people happier with you.
Yeah, some people around here would be very happy about that.
I think I know just the thing.
Oh, right, well, I didn't mean anything about you, sir. I mean...
It's fine. I'm just... You weren't gonna order anything, were you?
Well, are you gonna come help or not?
Yes, we will come assist you.
Of course.
We will remove the vipers from your house.
We'll do what we can.
Alright, well, come along then. As he guides you out of the...
Do we have like somebody who watches the tea house while we're all out or something?
No, not really.
Okay.
I don't think anyone would rob this place. It's in good hands.
Yeah, it's just down the road. I live on the quiet side on the north end of town. As he guides you down the road to the west a little bit into some of the farmlands in the northwest side, he guides you to his small, farmer's home. And let's see. Here we go. I know it's small, but it's a home. I haven't made notes for this yet, but yes, well, it's just the outhouse. It's around back here.
I will go take a look then, if you do not mind.
So I was thinking we could use bait.
Okay,
Go on.
You go.
Yes, I was thinking cucumbers.
No, they'll think the cucumbers are their friends.
As you all step to the back of the building and look at the outhouse, you realize that it's much worse than just a few vipers. It is a whole nest of them that is sort of bungling around it, making it their home. Seems as though as soon as he ran off, he stirred the pot, and now they're slithering about the grounds like it's their home.
Wow.
You guys have enough distance that you're able to, avoid getting attacked by them. But you might want to figure something out.
Are you sure this is an outhouse and not a viper house?
Might be.
I don't even know where they came from.
Well, I'm certainly happy to leave them to the new real estate. If I'm honest.
How many are there? like at a glance, is there like a very significant number?
There's like a dozen.
Okay. Do we have like a bag or something we can put them in to take elsewhere?
Are you looking to have someone adopt the outhouse vipers?
We just move them into the forest somewhere. Unless you want a bunch of pet snakes light on.
They're considered small creatures, right?
Tiny on their own.
I feel like there's something objectively wrong about me keeping a viper as a pet.
Yes, but it is quite funny, is it not?
It's very funny. I could feed them.
I've seen a human with a pet monkey. I don't think it's that strange.
Wait, does that even work here?
I am making an assumption for a bit.
Well, I mean, nature,
Granted, the
survival.
monkey is not very nice.
However you guys want to try to figure this out.
Shugo's gonna get his backpack out, and he's gonna use that to try to gather the snakes up.
I have create food prepared.
Okay.
So I guess along with Yuga's create food, Shugo's gonna try to grab them and put them in the bag while they're distracted.
Okay. Using the food will be a nature check.
Can I create the food and have somebody else try to
Yeah, of
handle
course.
it?
As always. Team game Pathfinder.
Thank you.
I suppose Shugo can make that nature check unless somebody else is better at it.
Shugo is the best at it. Everybody, well, the other two are almost as good.
Mhm.
The other is being purposefully unhelpful. He's very happy with the situation as it is.
I'm gonna pull the snakes in your bed after this.
Downtime is such a good person.
Does anybody want to aid me?
I don't know how I could.
Oh,
Just helping, get snakes in while he holds the bag, basically.
or vice versa.
Okay, I'll help with a nature check.
Mhm.
I'll aid.
Whoever's the main check has to hold the bag.
I will hold the bag then.
Okay, so bows in, you do succeed, you increase his by 1, but because you succeed on 23, he obviously succeeds on a 23. Over a bit of time, as long as you didn't fail that, you're very careful with using like little branches, just trying to pluck them up and, stuff them in the bag, keeping their heads down. And it's a little bit of an ordeal. Over the course of at least half an hour, you're carefully, gingerly, isolating one and then getting some food for it, grabbing it and putting it in the bag, and more stuff that backpack until you have about a dozen vipers squirming around in your sack. They just need a place to go.
Well, that was easier than expected.
Is there any sort of indication as to why these all gathered here?
Nope. You have no
Alright.
idea.
I
Snakes
love
are gonna
that.
snake.
They're just here.
Willow Shore in a nutshell. I love this place. At this point, nothing surprises us anymore.
I could take them out into the woods. Do any of you have any suggestions on where they should go?
Do snakes like rocks?
Where snakes are more of a plant kind of people. You have to.
I see.
They're the type to stay hidden. Rocks aren't really good for hiding.
But don't snakes like live under rocks? Lift up a.
Some of them do. I mean, there's
Or is
also
that
some-
worms?
Well, that's worms, but some of
Keep
them.
mixing the two of them up.
How?
Hugo, you figure
Yeah,
just a few miles outside of town is fine. Nowhere in
Yeah.
particular.
I'm gonna go deal with these. You two can continue this great discussion about worms and snakes.
Oh, Shugo, can I help you?
No.
Okay.
You have
Say,
things to
Hugo,
do.
would you be interested in a few lessons about snakes? I'm sure I can give some very interesting lectures that you're going to be very interested in hearing.
Oh, yes, it's not a bad idea. Do you want to work in the fields with me? And then you can share all your stories with me. Let's do it.
I'm sorry. I have some very important business to do at the tea house, actually.
I think Bazin can watch the tea house while you go work with Yuga.
I certainly could. Would Belzin know how to make tea?
Just not T-lore.
I have crafting. I have okay crafting.
Yeah.
Decent crafting.
Yeah, you can whip up some.
You
I
make
can
the
manage it.
Lipton. You make the Lipton iced tea of gourmet tea.
This is something from the south. That's southerner accent's gonna start slipping through if I keep doing that.
2 parts sugar, 1 part tea.
I don't really know what you.
She goes to the forest. He's done with this.
He's afraid of my accent.
Well, I ran Outlaws for quite a while, so it was very easy for me to have a southern accent the whole time.
Still cool.
But anyway, you wrangle up some snakes and send them out to the fields, and they won't be any more problem to anybody else, I reckon.
Oh, that's so cool!
But yeah.
I just realized I should stay far away from Outlaws, because if I ever try to do a southern accent, I will absolutely butcher it.
Oh no, you can be
You need
the
to play Outlaws.
weird German, the weird German scientist that always shows up in westerns.
Oh no.
Oh my god, you're right. They're always there.
You're right.
But I do love Outlaws, so if we need something to do. That being said, you guys do, you go deal with it, Shugo. You send the snakes on their way, and Matsu sort of shrugs at the rest of you. I was going to offer dinner, but y'all seem... why don't I cook it for y'all at the... God damn it, I'm doing a southern accent for
You're
this
doing
guy.
it.
He is from the south, Bang.
No, he's not. He's from the north side, I thought.
He is on the
doing-
north side.
Wait, what?
You are on the northwest end of town.
We're on it, yes. But,
Yeah, but he is a farmer,
but
so...
he's
I
from the deep
regret
south,
everything.
right?
He was born in the deep south and he moved north for a different life.
The deep south, approximately 1 mile away.
But
Within that.
I'd like to cook for you all. So, I imagine your tea house has better instruments than my humble home. Why don't we go there and we can wait for your friend there?
It'd be an honor.
So, head to the Cerulean Tea House once more. Matsu there to cook you a lovely meal. Shugo, you eventually return to the smell of, very good fried foods, meats and such. You've been living on kind of like rations, kind of rationing, but this occasion he, dips into his own stock and prepares something very nice for you all. And as you have a good dinner with Matsu, he sort of stumbles over his words as he says, I have something else for you. This, I know I promised 2 GP gold pieces, but I think I have something better. Something that'll be more useful to you. So he walks up to Leodon and holds up a rune. This has been in my family for quite some time. I don't know what my ancestors were doing, but it seemed like something heroic. I think this hurts fiends. evil creatures. And you're fighting them, right?
There we
We've,
are.
we've run into a lot of them as of late, yes. This is gonna be very helpful, isn't it?
This is a great gift.
Thank you. I was worried you laughed me out of the room, and I was worried about something so trivial and embarrassing when we're being attacked, and I can't even go out to my outhouse. You're kind. You're helpful.
You're one of us.
And,
I have a proposition for you as well.
yes?
You are quite a good cook, yes?
I am, yeah.
Do you wish to work here at the tea house with us?
Well, I mean, I lost my dad and all this, and my mom left a long time ago. I've been holding down the fort for a good while here. Not sure what I was gonna do. Maybe I could do this. I didn't realize I was that good of a cook that I could work in a restaurant.
Well, let's just say we don't have a cook at all at the moment.
I guess I'm better than nothing.
I didn't mean it like that.
No.
Better than all of us combined.
I'll make some good food. Good food for y'all. Thank you. Well,
Thank you too.
Let us know if there's anything else we can help with. There's nothing too small that is important to take care of.
of course, yes. Yeah, I'll go get my stuff and I'll be back here tomorrow morning.
Now, Lydon, make sure you pay him well enough.
I'll be sure to make sure that he's getting what he's worth. Yes,
I hope that was okay that I made that decision.
of course. I was looking for a cook, and that was a very good call on your end.
I think it's a fine plan. That'll give him some purpose. Make him feel like he has a place to belong.
Give yourselves 80 experience points for helping Matsu out with his slithering situation.
Through all this hardship, people will grow closer. After it, I believe this town will be stronger than it's been in any memory.
I think you missed an 80 experience.
I did miss one. Let me write it again.
Oh, good.
And this is why I keep a Google document.
It's very helpful for me. Especially if I'm going to be running more games now. But, as the day turns to night and you all rest... let's see. Week 1, week 2... Okay, yeah, we're on good time. Okay.
Say, you all wouldn't mind if I made use of this rune, do you?
You could use it better than I could.
You're probably a bit more. Gonna profit a bit more from smacking bad guys.
I think it's down between you and me, Lylon.
Well, I think I would rather do.
You didn't even ask me.
Now, do you want to walk up to the ghosties and try and stab him?
Oh, I didn't want it. I just wanted to put my hat in.
Your hat has been considered and discarded.
I should go
Fair.
use the rune for now. He'll get it put on his claws later.
Okay. So, with that being said, let's see. the day turns to night, a new day arises, and there are rumors abound about how you all found a nest of snakes in town and rehomed them rather than killing them, so people's hope is a little bit better. It's funny that a small town situation like that reminds people that there is a life other than all of this chaos. But that being said, you are approached today by old Matsuki. There he is. He's a little smaller than usual because this token's weird. But anyway. Ah, there you all are. You know that the first long night festival is at the end of this week, correct?
That's right.
While I know I've asked you, much of you, this festival will be very important for bolstering the hope and pride that our people have in our home. This is a great opportunity for you all to help make this the best festival we've ever had, despite the circumstances. If each of you takes on some role in its preparation, perhaps it'll be even better than we could imagine, and bolster the spirits of our people more than anything else could.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the festival? I don't think I've ever personally taken part.
You'd probably be able to explain it better than we could.
Well,
Yoshugo.
The first long night, it takes place during the fall equinox, which usually happens on the last day of the week. It is, let me see here. I have a lot of information. You know, I have this picture here. But yes, this is a common Shinmen festival, as you all know. It sort of marks the official beginning, so to say, of preparations for winter. The first long night, you know, when the days get shorter and the nights longer. It's organized around our family units, and it's an evening spent together in solemn commemoration of deceased kin, as well as witnessing the community's hopeful aspirations. It's a very physical event, very hands-on. People, half of the event is preparing for it, making of lanterns and costumes and food and drink and all of that. Working to the tempo of resonant songs that, well, have lyrics and such about the, traditions of the people, local legends, all of that sort of stuff.
Of course we will help them.
Song, dance, observance, sort of a seeing off of summer and a preparation for the darker days ahead.
I would, of course, be happy to be one of the performers.
Performers? I haven't seen you perform before.
Well, I feel like I'm rather good at dancing and storytelling. I even play music.
Well, I'm excited to see it then. So, as for preparations, if you know anything about making things, or know what to make for, the enjoyment of people, let's say crafting or society, knowledge, you can help a lot for this. But if you don't think you can help, of course, There are the other things, the other preparations that still need to be done.
Well, this really tea house will of course always contribute its tea.
Of course, yes. Plenty of tea would be needed. In fact, it is, well, you don't exactly drink tea with the crickets. You're supposed to drink, sake with it, but either way, drinks abound. Yes. So, I'll leave you all to it, to decide what to do about this, and I will see you at the end of the week. It'll be in the town square as the night begins.
Well, I believe these things are more in your people's department. The preparations and all. I'll probably just ruin anything I make.
That being said, I would love to see you dance someday.
I do not believe that I should do that.
We can start slow, out of the public eye.
You're trying to make the townsfolk hopeful, not demoralized.
Out of the public eye on our own time. Don't worry, I won't push you into anything that you're not comfortable with. In public.
You're saying in public a lot.
Yes. No, what about it?
I'm going to go find some more things to help secure the town while you all prepare.
Of course. Thank you very much for your help.
Alright, so let's go to Shugo first, since you're just doing something else. What do you
He
do?
really can't contribute much to the preparations for the festival, but he can keep doing the other stuff. And he's just going to keep helping shore up the town's defenses.
Okay.
Attempt to is the keyword. You know what? I'm going to go point that.
Okay. Good time to use them. 7. 19, I believe would be a success, yes. So, you're helping shoring up things a little bit, carrying things around for people that need it, need the help and all that. So, that's done. As you do that, though, Shugo, as you're amongst the common folk, you're hearing more whispers and rumors about strange things happening, interrupting their daily activities. One woman says that her, ladle flew across the room in her house. Somebody says, oh, that was just a gust of wind. She said their, window was closed at the time. Other people say that fish are schooling in strange ways, and, they find, strange things in their food. Just little, small, supernatural curiosities. You're noticing people talk about them more and more. You're not sure if people are becoming paranoid or if something really is slowly encroaching.
Well, Shugo's going to take mental note of all that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, does it seem to be focused in any area from what he's hearing?
No,
Or is
it
just,
seems
like, all over
completely
town?
random and
Okay.
very minor. Like the kind of things that people would just talk about. Like, oh, a book fell off my shelf or something like that. In passing, it seems like nothing, but a lot of people are talking about very different events all at the same time. So it seems to be happening more than you would think, you would hope. But that's just something you're making note of as you're doing your activities. The rest of you, how are you, if you are all making preparations for the festival?
Well, I'm unsurprisingly making sure that we have enough tea stocked up, and generally just like helping prepare that.
Okay, you can roll your T-lore for that. 4 on the dice. Unfortunately, you're not able to contribute too much. You have to maintain the tea house itself, and then you're trying to organize your research and all of that, and you're able to help a little bit, but it's not over the top. Yuga?
Yep. I wish to basically join the festival, whether they need a performer to dance, to storytell, a flutist, singer.
That'll be during it.
Yeah.
Right now, you're just
But I
making
imagine
preparations.
But I imagine it's a lot of, like, rehearsal, though, isn't it?
Sure, yeah, we'll go with that. You can roll your performance check. Okay. Well, you're actually really helpful for teaching a lot of people, you know, keeping them well abreast of all of the traditional songs of the village and, yeah, tuning their instruments and all of that. You're actually very helpful for everyone, and it'll most certainly produce a better festival, so that increases your hope points.
Yay! I did something.
With that, then Baozin.
How to help with the festival? With any festival, I'm sure they'd make a lot of art or prepare other things.
Lanterns was one thing in particular that
Lanterns.
was said.
I could help with the lanterns.
Yeah, you can roll a crafting check for that.
I can't imagine how weaving would work with this. I'm going to hero point that.
Okay.
That's acceptable.
Alright, 18 is just barely there, actually. You're able to help a little bit more with preparations, you know, papercraft, and sorry, what was the specific thing you mentioned? Or was it just crafting? I think it was just, lanterns.
Lanterns overall, but
Yeah.
there may be some weaving crafts here and there. But I don't know.
Pretty much everything you can do to help. You put together things for people, and they're very appreciative of it. It helps a lot, especially knowing that you're hands-on with it. Your presence even just brightens people's days, you know, as one of the heroes of the town. But with that being said, the week goes by pretty well, other than the strange occurrences. You eventually make it to the 27th of Rova. The half moon sort of hanging in the sky during the day, but as the sun begins to slowly start to set, you all sort of convene in the town square for the festivities tonight.
During this time period, Shugo would have told everybody about the strange little occurrences that were happening and asked people to keep an ear out for them if they hear any more.
Fair enough. It's too many things to be happening to just write off as people being clumsy.
I don't like that one, actually. Let's see. And that other one's not working, but maybe we can get this one to work. There we go. And maybe some music. I just like my ambiance. Let's see. Yeah, actually, just this ambiance is fine. So, that being said, a little bit, just level it out. There we go. You guys arrive to much of the people that you've known around town, sort of gathered around, you know, in small groups here and there, as the festivities are almost underway. There are many already lanterns strewn about on ropes that are hanging from many of the rooftops here and there. And well, people are still rushing around to finish up preparations here and there, but otherwise, yes, it is almost underway. Let me have a look real quick at something here. Okay. So, you also actually notice that Shinzo has his cart set up, or sort of at the periphery of all of this. He seems to have arrived, luckily, on the night of the long night. Be somebody to chat to as well. So, as I'm getting myself a little bit more organized, I'm going to move some groups around for this. You remember that one of the first things on the first long night festival is, well, the contests. Sorry, there's a lot going on here. Let me see, where should I start with all this? Okay, so there are people walking around with these plates of sweets, these Shenmen salt and pepper moon cakes, and all of that. They actually have a recipe in here for making these in real life, but
you should share that with us in the chat.
But people step around in these outfits with red strings, little miniature lanterns sort of wrapped around their palms, you know, all of that. There are people sitting by some of the ponds downtown here, sort of drinking these gourds of alcohol and drinking with the crickets, as it is called. In fact, there you actually see people bring out weapons in the night. Magical weapons, in fact. Old family relics that they have strapped to their belt. It seems to be something that is part of the dress, actually, of the festival, to wear magical weapons. Perhaps in the way of sort of illuminating the night and defense against undead or ghosts that want to, you know, stop the festival. It's not really that common, but it's sort of a tradition. There is a couple of people around that you recognize, in fact. You see Kumsun Chong and Elizabeth Kandor sort of step up towards you, each of them wearing a more traditional garb. Elizabeth Kandor you usually see wearing just more like Taldoran garb, but she's a little bit more in that traditional Willow Shore dress today. Well, if my ancestors knew I'd be here, I'm not sure what they'd think. So far away from home, and yet so well integrated with these people that are now my new family here.
You belong just as much as any of us.
Oh, I know that for certain. And, well, we're all in this together, whether we like it or not, so why not let that bring us even closer together tonight?
I agree completely.
And I must say again, thanks for all the help with the stables. I know it was a pain in the arse, but I do appreciate it, truly. The horses are well fed, the cows are grazing, all thanks to you.
We are here at the service of the town, I would say.
Yes, of course. Well, one of the basket weaving contest is coming up pretty soon here. I think they're having it over near the stage.
Should go nudge his bosom.
Oh, that's lovely. I should excuse myself to see that.
I think you should. I think you'll have a great time.
He's definitely participating.
Okay. You guys see, someone you haven't really seen around too much. Mama Bao is runs a little sort of like dumpling shop that on the entry point to the Dawn Step bridge, actually. She's walking around with cooked sweets and stuff like, or dumplings and all that. She offers you all some.
She will definitely take more than he probably should.
Oh, golly.
Well, I didn't know you even eat anything.
For these, I'll eat anything.
Well, it's good enough for me. There's plenty to go around. Have your fill.
Well, thank you. I just eat a very modest amount.
Dumplings are the best thing to have been invented.
That's true, I suppose. You don't really invent cucumbers, do you?
Ways to prepare cucumbers, maybe, but no.
So, you guys, of course, see many familiar faces. You hear about that weaving contest. Shinzo is up there with his cart. Lots going on, so feel free to go wherever you want to. Sort of treat it like the Rushlight tournament.
I think I'm heading over here for a moment.
Gonna weave some baskets.
What?
Oh, they were doing the basket weaving at this stage or something.
Yes.
But I at least want to make an appearance.
Oh, there you are, son. Got up a little bit late. I heard you were going to be part of the performance troupe tonight.
I've been very, very busy with all sorts of duties as well as the rehearsals.
Yes, you're the governor now, too.
That happened.
Didn't exactly expect all that much from you. But, seems like you've gotten your wings now. Figuratively.
In a manner of speaking.
Well, I'm proud of you.
I hope that's not premature.
No, I'm serious. I really appreciate what you've done for the town, for our family, for our extended family, and everyone in between. Your mother would be proud too.
Thank you, that means a lot.
Well,
I just couldn't sit idle.
I knew you couldn't. You could never sit idle. You couldn't stay in the loom or in the workshop or in the field. You always were running off somewhere.
Yeah, that's why I have more than one job, I suppose.
Well, I think you've taken all the jobs you can. Not much more important than protecting this place.
I suppose that's true.
Oh, when's this weaving gonna get started? Sort of looks up towards Sataku, the rat folk. Soon enough. We're just waiting on a few more contestants if they want to arrive.
I'm fairly certain my friend Bowsin will want to come.
Yeah, I see him over there.
Perhaps I shall usher him over?
Do that for me before I start shouting at him.
I was listening.
Well, you don't have my ears, but I'm glad you can hear from that far. You joining us?
I see no reason not to.
Oh, good then. So, sorry, did somebody say basket weaving? It's actually lantern making, which is pretty much similar.
Oh, it's like I've been practicing
Far
that
more
for a while
sense.
or something.
Yeah, you've already made so many lanterns that you see hanging up around here already. Well, it's pretty simple. It's going to be about 2 hours. It's sort of a ceremony contest at the same time. Interestingly, you would know this actually. For a while, spiders were extremely popular motifs for the lantern designs. Maybe you could show us one of those today.
Not a bad idea.
But yes, 2 hours you have to create the most beautiful lantern that you can make. So basically, if you want to do this, just roll us a crafting check, Bowser.
Alrighty.
Okay, 16. It comes out pretty well, but it's not the most fantastic anybody's ever seen here.
Dang, I was hoping for a better roll. I'm out of hero points.
I'd be so tempted to have Yuga participate as well, but he's probably got preparations to do.
But,
I assume
yes.
it's just the one check.
Yeah, just the one. You spend the first 2 hours of the festival. You guys know that the festival lasts 6 hours. So that's where you are, Bozen, for your first 2. And during that time, everyone else can walk around, find something to do, all of that. Let's move up towards Shugo here. Shugo, you find Asahina Shinzo on the periphery here, next to his cart. Sort of going over a few things, notices you approach. Ah, there's one of my new friends here. I'm glad I could come on the night of the first long night festival. I don't often...
Got quite lucky to show up on the exact right day.
Maybe luck had something to do with it, yes. So, because it's a festival, might I offer you a bit of a discount? 10% off all of my items. Tonight only, though.
I will have to tell my friends about that. I'm sure they will be interested.
Of course. I have what I showed you before. Things that you might find useful. There is also something I brought along for your friend, Leodon. It's a crossbow I picked up. Out in Hwangalt. I'm sure you would like something like this.
Well, I will go ask him and see if that's something he would want. But do you have any news from the outside? I was kind of curious to talk to you about what's been going on out there.
His raven flutters onto one of the posts there. Well, not much in particular. It's almost as if everyone forgot about you here.
I was going to ask about that. I'm surprised nobody has come.
Well, I asked people about you. And people don't seem to even know that there's a Willow Shore. It's almost as if you never existed in the first place. It's very strange. But here you all are, dancing and having your festival this night. It's real as any other.
I know that we are a small village, but that is strange, is it not?
It certainly is. Because you had connections to the outside. You did trade with everyone, and at least that's what you've told me. I wasn't really around these parts until recently, so I don't really know the exact history you have with the outside world.
It was still trade and connection. But I'll have to talk to the others about what you said as well. Strange that nobody seems to care or even know.
And it is very strange, but I can still come here and sell you things from the outside world while you're trying to figure this whole thing out. I trust you've made some progress in that regard.
We are working on a way to get to the monastery. We believe that is the key to everything to the west. I believe the research has been going slowly, though. The town has had many needs in the past few weeks.
Oh, I can imagine. But
Next time you come to town, do you think you could bring some books with you that we could research?
books? Perhaps. I'll see what I can find.
Yes, books of the occult, that kind of thing.
Very well.
Spirits.
Yes, of course. That being said, yeah, usher your friend over. I got this specifically for them.
I will go find him. Thank you again. I'll probably be back to buy something myself later.
Mm-hmm.
And Shugo's gonna walk back through the crowd looking for light on him.
In the meantime, Leodon was, well, approached his sister, or adoptive sister, for that matter. There's two Leo Zangs. There we go. Ah, there you are, brother. I trust you found the resources of our library useful.
Well, they're massive, but so far trying to peruse them has left my head spinning.
You know, if you need any help, you can only just ask me. But, you know, I won't, forget to laugh in your face, should you fail spectacularly.
I doubt I could fail any more than I already have. But I'll be sure to return the favor when I find something before you.
Well, I'm the one who stays home. Is free to peruse at my leisure. You have to run around and handle your tea shop. It's as if you've forgotten about me at, well, our old magic shop here. Shame, really. What are you up to tonight, anyway? What are your plans at this festival? I didn't take you for the type to enjoy cavorting and running around.
I'm just here for some tea, really.
That's all you ever talk about anymore. Tea, tea, tea. Well, I'll leave you to your tea.
I'll be sure to show you what I've been doing in that case. Perhaps you'll understand then.
I'll come by the Cerulean Tea House when I have time. Right now, I'm still working on putting the library together for you and enchanting here and there. Now, I believe there were some festival or some competitions tonight. I think there's one about admiring the moon, writing poetry, enjoying mooncakes and tea while composing. Might be up to your speed. I think they're doing it down near the water, near the disappeared Governor's Manor. If it's ever something that interests you. She begins to step away. Yuga, what would you be doing?
It depends on whether or not, like, we're expecting, like, performance type things to start right away.
Not right away. It'd be more something by the end of the night. Right now, people are, going around and, doing some of the contests and then just, talking to each other and all that. You notice that there's 3 contests going on right now. There's the admiration of the moon, sort of wordplay, poetry, that sort of thing. There's bundle cutting, which is sort of, those tatami mats and cutting them, cleanly and properly. Showing off sort of skill in that way. And of course there is the lantern making that you can also participate in. if you so
I
wish.
think I might actually like to do that for the sake of spending some quality time with my father.
Okay. That's why I'm here, son. Paper lanterns are a great part of our family's heritage. We
They
always put so much effort into that part of things for this festival every year. I'm glad you're here, sharing that time with me, finding the time in your now busy schedule.
I really should try to do this more often. It's kind of nice to have that reminder.
Well, we may all be trapped here, but day to day, we're still a village. No matter what's happening, we have to live. And we're not going to let this chaos stop us from having our festivities, of having our family time.
Absolutely not. We will win this.
Yes, of course. But focus on your craft. Show me you still remember.
I still remember.
Roll some
I'm going to
crafting.
prove it. I said I'm going to prove it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's better.
It is better. Let's see. Okay. Yours is pretty good, but once again, it's not all that special. Others are putting a lot of effort and a lot of, like, their hopes and dreams into theirs. You might also be distracted, as Baozin is. Not making much progress with that, but that's okay. There is, of course, the admiration of the moon, the bundle cutting as well going on. If the others want to, partake in anything. So we'll say, what are Leodan and Shigo doing in that 2 hours? Do you do any of those competitions, or you just let them go by?
Well, Shugo's gonna tell Leodan about the crossbow that Shinzo had.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know what? Shugo's gonna go admire the moon.
Okay.
I don't know what else he could really do.
Well, there's the tatami mats, and that's a competition of, like, cutting. There's you know what a tatami mat is, it's what weebs use to test their katanas out on. In America.
You know
in
what?
Japan, they actually, anyway.
Oh my gosh.
No, he's gonna go to that instead.
It's the only way I could, get it to be visualized for an American audience. But, yeah, that's happening, we'll say over here. The elders are actually, watching some of the guardsmen and, judging them for their form and all that.
Yeah, I thought you meant, like, actually, like, legitimately cutting, like, tatami mats and, like, making them, not, like,
Oh, yeah.
chopping them.
Well, it's bundle cutting, so it's like actually martial-like performance, yeah. So, you walk up, you see the elders there, watching some of the guards sort of show their edge of alignment on their weapon strikes. Oh, there you are, Shugo. Are you here to show them how it's done?
I don't believe it would be fair if I did. I don't use a sword.
Ah, but your claws are sharp and narrow, just as a sword's blade is. I think it's fair enough. Don't you, Granny Hugh? As he sort of lifts a raised eye towards her. Well, I suppose it makes sense for one such as him. We can bend the rules. So you can go ahead and roll me an athletics check for this.
Shoot, we'll definitely go up to the guards and try to cut one with them.
Mm-hmm. Not cutting one of the guards, but yes.
Right.
If I was one of those weird DMs, I would say, "Huh, you said cut one of them. The guards, you cut the guard. You're under arrest."
You're going to prison for the rest of your life.
But you cut at one of those mats, and with the sheer power of your claws, especially with that gauntlet that you were given by Ugly Cute, you just absolutely eviscerated in a series of swipes of your claw wowing people, onlookers, and leaving the guards dumbfounded at your skills. Well, it's good we have you defending the town, the guard captain says. I think we have our winner.
You and the guards do a great job as it is as well. You're also extremely important to this village. Don't forget that.
Well, I guess I'm not a magical dragon. Do what I can. And you can't be everywhere at once. We've got eyes everywhere. So I guess that's correct.
You've got me beat there.
So, with that, let's see. Actually, let me see. Not sure how this is supposed to work. Well, the bundle cutting will be going on all night. But, if any of your allies want to help, or want to show off their skills, so be it. There's a pool for teams to gain prizes out of this, so if any of your friends can come along and increase your team's score, you can maybe win something.
I will have to let them know to come over here.
Very well. Alright. Leodon, are you still with us?
I'm still around-ish.
Okay. What would Leodon be doing for this 2-hour span here?
Probably try and schmooze a little, and otherwise just, you know, keep with his latest obsession.
Okay, sure. For that, just roll me a diplomacy. Or society, for that matter.
Let's go with society in that case.
Well, you're a bit distracted. You're thinking about what your adoptive sister said, and you're more focused on all the research you need to do and the tea house. You're putting on a good face, but not really getting anywhere with anybody. Perhaps that will change as the night continues. But I think for now, we should pick up next time with all of this. This is getting late, and there's still much more to go through. If that's okay with you guys.
Sure.
All
I'm
right.
good with that.
Yeah. So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'm really happy to be back with this, and now that I'm in a much better situation, you know, I moved and I'm in a nice apartment and all that, I can be a little bit more confident in doing this week to week. No distractions, no worries, feeling much better. So, this is going to be weekly. If you like the maps, well, they are Foundry, not Foundry made, but like, this is the premium module for Season of Ghosts, but I also make some extra maps for it. If you want to go to Patreon, there it is right above me. It appeared at the right moment. But yes, patreon.com/CobraDM if you like them. And what else? I think that's kind of it. Oh, you stream over on Twitch.
Sure do. Hi, everybody. I am Chris Coble, the player of Yuga, and I stream on Twitch at Twitch TV Chris Coble on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 6 p.m. Central. Come by sometime. It'll be a lot of fun.
Okay. So, that being said, we'll be back next week. Hope you guys had fun.
I did.
Good.
Indeed.
Alright, let's head out. Bye.
Bye-bye.